Well, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I'm going to talk about Palantir, Nvidia, and Tesla. I have a members only video earlier. Really kind of talk about from like the cycle perspective where I think each of those stocks are in the cycle. But I just want to make a little bit of a separate video in terms of like the short time price action in terms of all these different stocks here, because I do think that short term there are some pretty interesting development that's happening and kind of what I'm thinking based on technical analysis in terms of what's going to happen moving forward. I think Tesla is still developing a bull cycle. I think that it's just simply got way outside the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly, but you still have a Bollinger Band expanding to the upside and downside on the monthly. You still have the 20-month moving average going from negative to positive. So this overall is still a very nice bull trend, right? You just have it turning from resistance here to support over here too, and you bounce very, very strongly. Higher highs, higher lows. There's no reason to think that the bull trend for Tesla is over, right? If you're also looking at the Ichimoku cloud here on the monthly, you can see how it perfectly backtests the monthly Tenkan here on the blue line, and this is something that generally happens in a bull market. Even during COVID, it got really scary, but it eventually just bounced in a bullish engulfing candle right here above the Tenkan Kijun over here, right? And it just ended up going a lot higher from here. This is something that bull market, what Tesla stock would do, where it just kind of tapped the Tenkan on the way up. There's really nothing particularly scary about it. There's plenty of support here below, one of which we touched, around 330. This is really 328 to be precise. This is really a pretty important support level, and it bounced it pretty decently. Also looking at the weekly here, you see like you got a bit of a very bullish dragonfly candle over here on high volume with pretty significant volume here. If anything, you also can see that there's another level of support right here that bounced off, which is the bull market support band. You can see how the entire time when you have a downtrend, volume is actually not very high. It's been declining up until this kind of more or less like a capitulation candle over here. Does it mean that Tesla's going to go down further? No, not necessarily. It can always go down further, right? But there are some reasons for hope that we have bottomed because of high volume capitulation, dragonfly, bullish hammer kind of handle here. I think that this could be the bottom, and I think we could just keep going up from here. I think that's entirely possible. If it doesn't, if we end up going down below that, that's fine too. There's going to be a lot of support zone here. If you zoom out, there's going to be a lot of support zone here around 290s to 300. That's going to be another very important level, which is where this whole wick right there is at, right? There is going to be support level if it ends up going sideways here a little bit more. I don't think it has to test the 20-month moving average. I really don't, but that's also kind of slowly going up over time, right? There is just a lot of different things here. Even looking at the 2 Ichimoku, you have 315, 314, that's also potential support. So there's a lot of support levels down below. I don't think it necessarily has to go down that much further anymore. I think this month and a half correction over here could be enough for us to, actually not month and a half, this has been like about 2 months price action here, could be enough for us to kind of propel price going up higher moving forward. I just think that it's at a pretty good spot. I really do think that this over here is very, very similar to what the COVID drop over here was before further bullish continuation. You can always make the case, are we here like we are over here, right? And we would know that whether or not Tesla makes another higher high or not. If it goes sideways here for like a year, then hey, maybe something's wrong. Maybe this bull trend is completely exhausted. Maybe I should get out of Tesla because of opportunity cost, right? But I do think, again, I made another separate video. I don't think we're here. I think we are here, right? And I think we are here. So I think that if my thesis is correct, I think Tesla is going to end up doing just fine. Maybe bounce off of the bull support band here with a dragonfly candle and just keep going higher. I think it's entirely possible. You've also just look at the fit levels over here too. Turn off the volume so it's not as busy. You look at a fit level over here too, from there to down here, and I'm going to make it a little bit more of a log scale because it's a pretty exponentially growing stock here. You can see that it closed right above the 0.886, right, on the log scale here. It closed right about the 0.386, 0.86, right? So that's promising. If you look at the linear, it also balanced off the 0.786 over here, right? All of these are very important fit levels. Usually, if you're able to break above to all-time high and come back and back test either the 0.86 or 0.786, sometimes even 0.618, if you ever find support, generally things continue have their bullish continuation. I think we are probably getting close to being done with this correction. I could be wrong, but based on a lot of the things I'm looking at, and also especially sentiment, everybody was just so bearish. There's so much narratives. Like I see it because I own I have like a 32,000 follower account on X, right? When I post about Tesla, people are so bitter. They're so bitter over the last week or two. You know why? Because price action, right? We went all the way from 480s all the way down to the 320s. People got scared, but the price just went from like 140 all the way up to like 480 or 490. Come on, it's okay. It's a correction. 30%, 40% drop doesn't mean that there's anything fundamentally wrong with the stock. Doesn't mean that it's going to cause any technical damage. It's fine. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. We were way about the upper punch right here. We're just having a little bit of a correction, and we found support where we need to find support at. So nothing scary with Tesla. I still think there's going to be some further bullish continuation. Again, if you're interested in my cycle thought analysis, join my subscription or my YouTube channel, whatever, and you can unlock that video. I'll tell you all about what I think about what Tesla is and where it is in comparison to Nvidia and Palantir in terms of where they're in the cycle. Palantir, it just keeps on going up, doesn't it? Are we going to be at a certain level where we just need to take profit at some point? Are we scared? Well, it did have a escape velocity here, and if you're trying to find the next resistance level, there's always going to be a resistance level. The 3.61 is going to be 147.31, right? That's a linear scale. If you talk about log scale, the 1.61 is going to be 157.62. So somewhere around 140s and 150s, I expect to have some turbulence there. But if you get over that, then you're talking about maybe the 2-FIB level here, which is 340, and then ultimately 2.272. If it gets to 2.272, I'm tempted to just sell everything. Would it necessarily get there? I don't know. Nvidia got there. This bull market, right? And that's where we're at. We got stuck here at the 2.272. We got there, right? And that's when we get stuck here, right? Palantir, if it ever gets to the 2.272, I'm really tempted to sell everything. It might end up exhausting its trend whenever it gets to like the 1.618 or the 3.618, linear FIB level around 140s to 150s. If it's able to push above, then the sky's the limit, because the Bollinger Band on the monthly is still going up. Like there's really no warning sign in terms of the bull trend. It just keeps on wanting to go up. RSI on the monthly, yeah, you can say it's overbought, all right. It's in the 90s, but there's no bearish divergence. You can stay overbought for a very long time. Look at how long Nvidia stays overbought each of the bull cycle, right? You can imagine if you sell an overbought Palantir, or if you sell overbought Tesla or overbought Nvidia, like how much potential opportunity that the stock's going to keep going higher, which have lost. I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. But if you look at a lower time frame, you can also see a couple of things here too. If you look at the lower time frame, you do see that if you just look at a Bollinger Band, you do see a little very similar pattern that we're forming here compared to here, where we have a big breakout candle way above the upper Bollinger Band. Things went sideways for a couple of weeks, and it's just kind of like, a little bit of an exhausted move up here, correction, and then push up higher. I see that this move over here is very similar to this move over here, a little bit over the upper Bollinger Band here for monthly, but you're expanding that lower Bollinger Band down here as well. I think I'm probably going to end up going sideways here a little bit, maybe down a little bit, and then up here a little bit. Go into 140s, 150s, and we're probably going to get rejected. Come back down and maybe find some support before further bullish continuation. That's what my suspicion is going to be. If it just keeps on mooning, I'm okay with that too. But just know like 140s and 150s is going to be probably my big next level of resistance based on what I'm seeing here. Otherwise, I think Palantir is just going to keep doing what it wants to do. There's no reason for me to want to sell, because if I sell here, I'm going to have to figure out where to buy lower. If I would have sold up here around 83, would I have bought down here exactly at 64? Or would I wait for 45? Or would I have just ended up buying around the 70s because I wasn't sure whether or not this bull trend is just going to reverse? I don't want that stress. I don't care, right? Same thing here. That's why I'm not selling and try to buy back lower. That just doesn't really make a lot of sense for me. Nvidia, what are we doing? Let's look at the actual technicals of Nvidia here. Is Nvidia turning around the corner? I think so. The only issue is whenever you end up having a gap close, the gap itself, the top of the gap itself can be resistance, right? So we just closed the gap. We're kind of at the bottom of this candle over here before it broke down. We had a bullish engulfing candle over here. We have a little bit of Mount Velocity candle over here. Probably favors further bullish continuation. But we're at a little bit of resistance here, I guess, from a gap perspective, right? We did break back above the Tenkan Nikkei, which is always good, both on the weekly and the monthly. Monthly, so far, we got a bullish engulfing here so far, right? So far, so good. So far, so promising. The month is still early. We've still got another half a month left, so we'll see what on this bullish engulfing candle ends up playing out or not, right? And you also can see that right at the current price action, all of this right now is just push through this arc, back test the arc over here. That's all it's doing. It couldn't break through the 21272 and need to come back and build up some energy before pushing up higher. That's what I think. Where's this going to go next if it's able to push through the 21272? Probably 2.618 here, around $228. If it goes beyond that, then maybe to the scan horizontal line over here. But I'm not sure if it has enough energy to push through all the way up there anymore. We'll see, right? Pretty nice breakthrough and back test here at the arc. Not too bearish, actually. But overall, if I had to pick between like Palantir and Tesla and Nvidia, if you want to know my thoughts, because I have positions all three, and what I've been doing with my portfolio based on what I'm seeing here in technicals, feel free to watch my video for my members, I guess. But overall, I'm not bearish either, because I think that it's also not just reclaiming the Tenkan Nikkei or reclaiming Tenkan here on weekly and the monthly. It's also reclaiming the support band. Sometimes you can have price kind of dip underneath the support band here for a couple of weeks, and that's fine. It's no big deal. We're close above that again, right? So you can see the trend's kind of a little bit tired, a little bit exhausted, but overall it's still a bull trend. It's still trying to reclaim this. Now, hopefully this is not a false breakout, right? If it's a false breakout, then all things would consider this might be a distribution top over here, might not going a lot lower. But overall, there are enough things I'm seeing that I think is probably just going to keep going up higher, because I'm not really seeing any major warning signs. The question is this. Can I be wrong? Can it always go down lower? Yes, it can always go down lower. Can it go down all the way to 90? To the bottom is weekly Ichimoku cloud? That's entirely possible, right? Things are looking a little bit exhausted. It looks like there's a little bit of a rounded top over here. Could it go down and scare everybody going out to 90? That's always a possibility. The only reason why I'm a little bit, skeptical of that is because you're still reclaiming these higher time frame support, right? At the monthly Tenkan over here and at the Gen arc over here. So I'm going to give a benefit of a doubt. And especially if the month of February, if we end up closing with a bullish engulfing candle, then I think that flushed all the way down to grab liquidity. They already did that over here, so I don't think they necessarily have to do that again. But you never know about the market makers. They can be very, very brutal, and they could always just pull up a really wicked move to go all the way back down to like the bottom of Ichimoku cloud and bounce and go up a lot higher. I am going to stick with the camp because things are reclaiming support. There's demand. And that I think because things are reclaiming multiple support here, then I think there's going to be some further bullish continuation for Nvidia, which means that it's going to build very well for the rest of the stock market. Anyway, just want to share these thoughts here with y'all. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye, guys.